Good morning. Today I'm going to grow what a lot of people would say is the mother of all herbs. It's called Holy Basil. Now, Holy Basil is not like your basil for Americans. It's not like your sweet that we use for like on pizzas, and that sweet basil from Italy is totally different than Holy Basil. Holy Basil is medicinal, and it's got lots of vitamins like A and C, calcium, zinc, iron, and I think in India it's called Tulsi or Tulsi. They call it the tonic for the body, mind and spirit because it helps with stress. We make it into a tea, you drink the tea and sit down, have your tea rather than have a coffee. Well, they say it helps with memory and it helps with sleep, it helps with digestion, it helps with so many different things. Some of them are proven actually where they have done studies. So what we're going to grow is, I'm going to grow this one here. Now there's not a lot of seeds in this packet. There's 1 gram, so that's over 2,000 seeds. And I will show you the seeds. They're like normal basil seed or basil seed. They are less than maybe a half a millimeter. Now I'm going to, instead of making a trench, I'm going to put them along in 4 rows or something like that along here, and then cover it with 1/4 of an inch. That's an easier way to do it. I already pre-watered I've already pre-watered the potting mix. So we'll just put the seeds in here. It's easier to manage them if you put them onto a white plate. And we'll do it in pinches then. Yeah, there is a lot of seeds here, so there is probably 2,000 plus. So what you do is make an imaginary line. The reason I do it in a line is that later on then, when you're coming back to see where they're growing, you'll know whether they're weeds or not. If they're growing all over the place, they're going to be weeds. So I'm going to make an imaginary line 1.5 inches in from the side first. And there's probably about 4 or 5 seeds per inch going there. Some people say that might be too thick, but probably right. But they will grow. One of the easiest things of all to grow is basil. Teach your children to grow it. Take cutting and put it in a glass of water and show them how the roots do. I do this with my daughter, and she grows sweet basil all the time. So I expect these to come up. With the weather we have here, with the humidity here, these seeds could germinate in 3 days. Now they'll be very tiny, but they will germinate in 3 days. The first seedlings will be very, very small because they are small seeds as well. So they take quite some time to grow into full size. But we will be thinning them out probably in 3 weeks' time. So I have 4 rows done along here, and what I'm going to do is, they're overseeded. I'm just putting extra seed on them. If you were growing them outdoors, you probably would spread them even more. But what I'll do is I'll get some fine seeding media, just more of this compost on top of them. Try and cover them by about maybe a little bit less than 1/4. They will grow even if you don't cover them, but I like to cover them. Smaller seeds don't often have to be covered, but I like to put 5 or 6 millimeter, a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, and then tamp it down. And you can just make it nice and fluffy. We're going to tamp it down, but we'll make it fluffy so that we can have it even, and we know that we have the same amount all over it. And then I will put this in. I will put this in a place with morning sun. Morning sun doesn't tend to be so strong here, as the middle of the day sun can get very, very hot. And it's sunny now. The sun only came up, but there's slight rain coming down on top of me now. It's more like a mist. This is the time of the year where we've had such a hot summer and so dry. So I will do that, and I will do another couple of cell trays with the same, and I'll tap it down with my hand just like that. And I won't give it a watering, I'll give it a misting. So I'll put a mist on it, mist setting on the hose. I'll move them there so they don't get wet. So I'll just put the mist setting on the hose and give it a little bit, because it's already after being pre-soaked. And that's it. That's it. I'll leave. If there's anything sticking up, push it down. Put that in a shelter. I won't put it out in case there was heavy rain. Just keep it covered for the first few days, and this will grow in a nice warm place. And I'll be back to you in a couple of minutes, and that should be 3 weeks. No, it won't. It'll probably be 2 weeks. I might even do a little short one in between after they start to germinate. It's been exactly 7 days since we sowed this Holy Basil, and yes, they grew very quick. They came up after 2 days. And maybe you sowed them a little bit too thick, or maybe not. I will just put them in close outside. That's what we get. The weather here has been very warm, and it's a bit humid. It's a little bit of rain today, but the temperature has been over 30 Celsius since we sowed them, so maybe that helps them a little bit. I have to water them twice a day because it was so hot. All basils like sun, so I'm giving them sun. I have them in the shade here just to show you the video. So we'll come back, and maybe in about 4 or 5 days I will transfer these into a bigger pot. I will divide them out. I won't tin them to their full. Basil doesn't mind being divided up, not like parsley. You wouldn't. Parsley, you try to avoid replanting it or potting it up. But the basil, good root system, it's no problem doing. Good morning. It's been 22 days since we sowed the seeds for the Holy Basil. Now, these are not Holy Basil. Holy Basil are from here. We have them here in pots as well that we didn't tin out yet. Some of them I tinned out, and they're doing okay. Basil don't mind being transplanted because it can grow roots even if you damage them. I will be topping them in about 2 weeks, but I'll just show you what they look like after 22 days. You can see that it's a little bit more compact than, say, Thai basil or sweet basil at this stage anyway. So the leaves are different. They are not pointy like in the Thai basil. The leaves are pointy. The leaves are rounded at the ends. So that's all. We will transplant all these ones here. I have lots of them down there as well, maybe 1,000, 500,000 plants. But these are after coming on now, since they need lots of light. Basil needs light. Doesn't matter, it needs 8 hours a day and grows like hell then. So I'll see you in maybe 1 week, and we might not be topping these ones yet. We will be topping other ones. We'll see how the progress then. If they have 10 leaves, I will top one, and I'll show you how to top it. See you in a few minutes. Good morning. Now I'm going to give you the final part of growing this Holy Basil or Holy Basil or Tulsi. I have an abundance of it, so my advice is don't sow so many seeds because you'll have nowhere to put it. You can sell it or give it away or whatever, but I have virtually probably 1,000 plants at the moment and nothing to do with them. We put them into these plastic ones, and you can put them into pots, put them in the ground, wherever. But this is like, you should be only sowing about 30 seeds because the germination rate is near enough 100% when you're growing basil. What do you do to make I'll just show you here. We prick out the growing shoot here, or we clip them off with a scissors when they get to this height. They're a little bit leggy, but that allows these branches here to grow and this one to grow here, and it also prevents it going into seed. Now some of these that were in the pots clumped together, they were starting to go up into seed, and then when any of the basils go into seed, it alters the flavour of the basil itself, or the basil itself, and so you will be watching them. For instance, there's one here, and I'm going to prick that out now. It's just about to go to seed. I will show you what it looks like. Yeah, so that's not healthy. The best thing to do with this now would be to cut it all down and give it away, or do something with it, or freeze it, or whatever. But when you're sowing them, don't do what I done. Don't sow a whole big pile of seeds, because even if you're selling them, or if you're doing, you should do them 2 weeks and then 2 weeks and then 2 weeks, and you could even put 1 seed per pot. I've done the sweet basil, and I put 1 seed per pot, and I had all of them come up on one batch, and usually 95 to 100%. So this is our Tulsi, our Holy Basil, and thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully you might subscribe to our channel up here. I think that it's going to be up there.